You know, most of us are taught to build a career. But what if all we're really doing is renting our skills to someone else's machine? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a hidden financial ladder, a ladder the most successful people in the world use to climb from simply trading their time to owning the very systems that run our world. Okay, let's kick things off with something that might, sting a little. This quote really nails it, that feeling of freedom you get from a steady paycheck. Well, the argument here is that it might actually be a trap, one designed to keep you running in place for your entire life. See, the people who build real, lasting wealth, they're just not playing that game. They're not worried about the next raise or promotion. They are laser focused on climbing a ladder that most of us are never even shown. We call this the ownership stack. And today, we are going to break down every single rung. So you might be asking, why doesn't working harder just make me richer? It's a fair question. Well, it's because there's this silent, invisible ceiling on your income, and it has absolutely nothing to do with how much effort you put in. It's all about the system that you're operating inside of. I mean, really think about it. If everyone in your circle earns about the same amount and faces the same financial hurdles, that reality becomes your reality. It sets your perceived limits. Your whole world, what you see every day, basically sets the rules for what you think you can achieve. To break through, you can't just work harder. You have to change the stack you're standing on. Okay, let's dive in. We're starting at the very foundation, the bottom rung. This is where most of us start, and honestly, it's where most people stay. This is level 1, the labor trap. And look, the idea here is super simple. At this level, your time is being traded directly for money. It's a one-for-one deal. If you get sick, if you want to take a vacation, if you just stop showing up, poof, the money stops. It's that direct. Let's use a simple analogy to make this real. Picture a bakery. At level 1, you are the star pastry chef. You're the one with the talent. You mix the dough, you bake the bread, you create all the value. But the second that bread is sold, the money goes to the owner. You just get your wage for the hours you put in. You don't own a single crumb of the value you just created. And this is the key takeaway for level 1. It has hard physical limits. There are only 24 hours in a day, right? You're basically treated like a commodity. And what happens to commodities? They always try to get them for the lowest price possible. On top of that, your income gets taxed to death before you even see it. The only real way out is to stop being the one baking the bread and start being the one who owns the bakery. Okay, so let's climb up a rung. This is the first major jump. This is level 2, and it's all about getting paid for what you run, not just what you do. So now you're the business owner. You're the one paying for the flour, the rent, the employees. You pay for everything first. Whatever is left over, that surplus, that's the profit, and that's what's yours. Now, your income isn't tied to your hours, it's tied to how well the system you built actually performs. And if we go back to our bakery, the shift is huge. You're not the chef anymore. Now, you are the bakery owner. You're the one setting the strategy, hiring the team, and building the systems that let the bread get baked and sold, even if you're on a beach somewhere. But, and this is a big but, there's a huge trap here. A lot of people just change their title from chef to owner, but they keep acting like the head chef. They're still working 80 hours a week in the business. To really succeed at level 2, you have to shift your entire mindset from being a worker to being a builder. You have to start working on the business, not just in it. Okay, get ready, because this next step, this is maybe the most important jump in the entire stack. This is where real, lasting stability is found. This is level 3. Owning the assets. So what does that actually mean? It means you stop owning just the activity, the baking, and you start owning the infrastructure the activity depends on, like you own the building that the bakery is in. And why is this so powerful? Simple. Rent gets paid before profit. Think about that. You get paid before the person running the business even knows if they've made a profit. That's power. And this is where the really smart players use this incredible strategy called structural isolation. They don't just lump everything into one bucket. They build a financial firewall. So you have a holding company that owns the actual asset, the building. Then you have a totally separate company that runs the risky day-to-day business, the bakery. That way, if the bakery gets sued or goes bankrupt, the building, your actual source of wealth, is totally safe. It's firewalled off. All right, we're heading for the summit now. These next levels are where wealth isn't just created, it's multiplied and protected across generations. This is where we get into real generational wealth. At level 4, you're not just owning one asset, you own a whole portfolio. You don't just own the building, You own lots of buildings, so your risk is spread out. If one bakery goes under, it's just a vacancy, not a disaster. Your job isn't managing tenants anymore, it's deciding where to put the money. Then, at the very, very top, level 5, you own the owners. You're controlling the actual funds and holding companies that own the portfolios. You are so far removed from the day-to-day, your only job is to set the rules for the entire game. So all of this leads to a really wild question. When you get to these top levels, the rules of money just work differently. How is it possible that some of the wealthiest people on the planet can live, for all practical purposes, tax-free? And the answer? It's shockingly simple, and it flips everything we're taught about money on its head. The short answer is, they live on loans. Okay, so here's how this ultimate money move works. Instead of selling their assets and getting hit with a massive tax bill, the wealthy just borrow against their portfolio. That loan? It's not considered income, so it's tax-free cash. They live off that money, paying a super low interest rate, while their assets keep growing and inflation slowly eats away at the real value of their debt. But the real genius move is this. When they pass away, the tax basis on those assets resets. Their heirs can then sell a small piece of the now more valuable portfolio, pay off the loan, and they pay basically nothing in taxes. It's a system that is just on another level. All right, so we've just walked through the entire stack, from the ground floor to the penthouse. Now it's time to turn this whole framework around and look in the mirror. So, time for some real talk. After seeing all this, be honest with yourself. Where are you right now on this stack? Are you trading time? Are you running a machine? Or are you starting to own the infrastructure? So let's just recap it one more time. This is the roadmap. Level 1, labor, where you trade your time. Level 2, business, where you run a system. Level 3, assets, where you own the infrastructure. Level 4, portfolio, owning a bunch of assets. And level 5, the holding company, where you own the owners. And that really brings us back to where we started. Remember that invisible ceiling? It's real, and it's set by your environment and the level of the stack you're on. The only way to smash through it and build something that lasts isn't to just work harder at what you're already doing. It's about making a conscious choice to start climbing. So the only question left is, what's your next move?
Subscribe to Financial Wisdom Prime, your edge in money, power, and smart investing, where we break down the strategies the wealthy use to stay ahead.